Hello, screenwriters, and welcome to Writing for Screens, the screenwriting step-by-step project, episode 215, session 215 of these things. My name is Glenn Gers, and I come to you every Monday through Friday, if I can make it, at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, to let you look over my shoulder, share my screen as I write a script. And I am doing this in order to demystify the process of writing scripts. I'm not trying to tell you what the right kind of script is. I'm not trying to tell you what kind of script to write. I am just trying to tell you that the process of writing a script is under-taught. It's under-examined. People don't spend enough time thinking about how you actually get your thoughts onto words on the page, get them organized into scenes, figure out an outline, make that a rough draft. The process, the day-to-day process of getting bits and pieces of a script together into a single document, that's really the main thing about screenwriting. Can't write a great script if you don't write the script at all. Process is where you should put your effort. Process is what you should work on when you feel like you can't get it right. Figure out your process, keep doing your process, and you will get it done. You will get it done, and if you get it done, you can always make it better. So that is what I'm trying to let you do. Just watch me walk through the process so that you can get some tips, tricks, tools that you can use in your version. You don't have to do it like I do it. In fact, maybe everything I'm going to do is just going to show you stuff you don't ever want to do. That's cool. Everyone has to figure out their own process. All I can do is try and let you see some things that I figured out for myself in a 25-year career writing for TV and movies. I just think some of these things are useful skills to have, tools to use as you figure out your way. Hello, Di. Hello, D-Real. Hello, Brian. Hello, Natasha. It is good to see all of you. We are here back making the progress through the rewrite, hopefully the final rewrite of this script. Final for you guys. If this thing that I just really try to emphasize, in screenwriting, you never actually have a final script, ever. Even in post-production, you will be rewriting the script. The editing is, in fact, a rewrite. You never stop reworking it. But for the purposes of this demonstration, this teaching exercise, we are heading towards the end. Hi, Jean. How you doing? Hope you're doing all right. So what I'm just trying to do here is work my way through. I've got 9 pages down. That is something. That is. We're heading towards 20% of the script done. I was thinking that's not a period. Now here's the thing. This is essentially 3 steps. He's leaving. She's watching him go. Then there's a sense that she is left alone, and then she checks her phone. It's 3 steps. So in theory, I would do this, but that's a lot of white space, a lot of lines. Tonight, I'm at the Ramada in Hillsville tonight. 9. Be here a few days? No, I need to go home tomorrow. I'll be at the Ramada. I'll be... She watches. Okay, that's a little better. Thank you, Ifra. That is very nice. Yes, I'm trying not to quit. Hello, Mega Mayo. Um, yeah. There. I mean, it's always comforting to show what to know. I push my little button, turn on this thing, and every day at 3 o'clock, there's people here to watch me do this. Um, but I am actually, I am truthfully, I don't want to. There are things that I'm not doing because I'm doing this. Things that I'm not doing for the channel, for you guys. There's things I am not doing, and that's the only thing that's bothering me. Is I'm beginning to feel like this thing, while interesting and a fascinating experiment, um, I only have so much time, and I am not doing other things which people have asked me to do, which I would like to do, like analyzing some of my old scripts, stuff like that. So that's the only that's the only reason I want to get this damn thing done. No, I need to go home tomorrow. I'll be at Vermont and Hillsville. Hey, thanks, Di. I'm really glad. Congratulations, Di, on finishing your first pilot. That is great. You beat me. uh, Mysterious house. There we go. Hello, Jared. Hello, Pedro. I always try to answer my emails. Thank you for sending them. Yes, congratulations, Di. Great. I am so glad, Drew P. It's nice to meet you. That is true. What will happen to all these lovely characters? The same thing that happens to all the characters of everything you ever write. They live on forever in your heart and your mind, and most people don't know they exist, and there's nothing you can do about it except to just know that at least when you open up the pages, they're there. And that you can always show it to a new person. Like you meet a person, you could have not written anything for 10 years, and you could say, oh, yeah, I wrote a script once. I'll be like, what's it about? And you say, oh, it's about blah, blah, blah. And they go, oh, cool. That sounds interesting. You say, I'll give you a copy. And then they read it, and these characters are brought back to life. Frankenstein style. I am the king of the channel. Thank you. I call. I'm heading towards that, but I do want to try and get this done. Thank you for recognizing my ultimate authority. Uh, Oh, that's interesting. Because the point is, she's watching him walk away. Then, left alone. I kind of wanted that to be its own thing, like left alone, looking at her head. So the point is, this implies not really something she wants to go into. All right. Hello, Rachel. Okay, so as I said, and remember how I said you should do an exact early 20s. There we go. Da, da, da. This is not a great line. There's a name for this. Instagram. There's a name for when you've made yourself look like. Many filters. There we go. This is interesting. Will you ever do a video on deals and contracts for selling scripts? No, I won't, because I don't. First of all, I'm not an expert on that. That is. There are people who are producers and agents and managers and people in the business who churn out a vast amount of information on this stuff. Which, if you go to things like Script Magazine, IndieWire, I think there's lots of resources out there where people are giving advice on the business end of the business. I am bad at that. I am. I haven't made a contract in 5 or 6 years, but beyond that, it's not my area of expertise. So I don't. I want to give you what only I can give you. That's one of the main things I think that's important to do when you're creating something. When you're doing something creative, when you're making something, what you want to try and do is think, what is it that I do that nobody else quite does? Or maybe of the things I want to do, what are the things that I want to do that are kind of different? That's sort of how I chose to do this channel. And one of the main things is lots of people are telling you how to succeed in the business, how the business works. I got a couple of tidbits I'll tell you as they show up, but truthfully, I'm not the guy for business. I am the guy who says, if you do really, really good creative work, and if you make yourself a sustainable artistic life, and if you keep trying, that's the best business advice I know. So there we go. Okay. Hey, Manga Express. Good to see ya. Question. I just finished my first chapter. I think it's trash. I've seen a big improvement in my books. I'm trying to write. Why? How can I get in the writing mood? Well, that's actually kind of two questions, isn't it? One is, what do I do if I think my own work is trash? And the other is, how do I get in the writing mood? Two very interesting and good questions. Let me see. Oh, by the way, you're welcome, Drew. I appreciate the question. I want to be honest about it. So let's talk about these two things. I'm just trying to check, have I... I'm trying to remember if I covered this in another episode, because I would link to it, refer to it. I will tell you the main thing I believe about how you get in the writing mood is this: create a ritual. I did a video, create a ritual. That's where I talk about how you get in the mood, because I really believe that process is how you get in the mood. Having a thing that you do the same way all the time, a way of getting into it, a place to work. I cannot emphasize how much I think this actually gets you, how to organize a program. In other words, if you have a place to work in, you are going to be in the mood more every time you go to that place. And by that place, I literally mean here, this folder with a bunch of documents and subfolders in it. I always make the exact same folder for everything I want to write. As soon as I start to do, the first thing is I really try to write it down. The work comes to you when it has a place to go. If you've opened a document, if you've got a form, if you've got a way that you have piled up little bits and pieces of random thoughts, you will then be more likely to want to write. You will want to work on that. everything that you do to follow that process will help you to uh, to get in the mood. I also talked about getting in the mood a little bit in, let's see, where is it? Thumbnail. In this video, fear of writing, because I talked a lot about not being in the mood, not being able to write, being afraid to write, thinking that there was always some other excuse, but what it really was fear. So I urge you to look at this video about getting in the mood, and that also brings up this one, small steps. I'm just writing these down so I remember to link to them in the description. They'll be in the description. Try and get to do that. Anyway, I would say create a ritual. Really, really, really good video, honestly, on this topic. Small steps, fear of writing. That's where you will find my understanding of getting in the mood. If you have 7 hours a day, what is a good page count to aim for? Now, this is interesting. I have talked about this before, but I will say it again. I don't do page counts. I don't do hours per day. There have been times when I have, especially if you're on a deadline, you're like, well, I better get X number of pages done. But overall, the deadline is progress. The deadline that I believe is, am I sitting down to do something and am I getting something done? What I found is the more that I just make that the goal, the more that I naturally want to do more. You just want to do more. You're like, oh, cool. Like every time I open up this document that we're working on here, and I say, oh, wait a second, I'm already on page 9. Okay, it may have taken me 20 days of a sentence a day, an hour a day, whatever it is, to get to page 9. But now I like, hey, I've got 9 decent pages. So what I would say is, I personally can't work 7 hours a day straight, for gosh sake. I work a little bit at a time. Ideally, if I was going to do 7 hours a day, I would probably do 3 to 4 of creative work on a particular project, and then 2 or 3 later on other things, taking care of my life, my business, working on organizing notes for other projects, whatever. But it depends. Like I said, if I had a deadline, if I was like, you have to get this script done by tomorrow, yeah, you push yourself. But for me, the trick is go as much as you feel like you can go, because what's going to happen is you will build up. Just like this, like any form of activity. You may not be able to walk a mile the first day you set out walking. If you keep walking every day and you just go a step or 2 more, eventually you're going to get up to that mile or 10 miles. It's every journey is made of steps. So my goal is just how many steps? Just do some steps, do some steps. If I just don't think about the bigger question, it's just like, can I do a step right now? Cool. That's what I do. So that's my way of handling that, Kelly. Good page count. It depends. Some days you're writing dialogue, you can rip off 10 pages. Some days it takes all day to do half a page. You're doing complex stuff. Okay. Thank you, Singh. I appreciate that. Love and respect right back at you. So here's the thing. This is how far we go. So she's staring at her phone. And she would say no. She would not say no, you do not, because she has all that she has done is not answered, and not answered is not the best. It's not a decisive, no, you did not. Good. Yeah. Also, once again, I urge you to check out my video, Create a Ritual, which is all about the process, the daily, the work process. I urge you to check that one out. Okay. So Glenn, you said previously you didn't like the screenwriting format. Why? You also should try it in other formats. Yes, that is true. Yeah, let's go there. Let's get into that. Okay. Here's the deal. The screenwriting format. Among the things that make me want to say to you, as I have said, um, does it have to be a script? Do you have to write this in the form of a script? Because screenwriting is the worst format to use on the planet for writing. Creative writing, there are so many ways to do creative writing. Scripts are they are unfinished. In other words, when you finish your script, you have not completed a work of art that anyone can experience. The only people who experience a script are the collaborators who are going to take the script and do other things with it. That's not a real audience, okay? Because they have their own agendas. An actor reads a script, and as much as they want to read a script and enjoy it, they are also saying, what's in it for me? Is this going to be good for me or bad for me? Everybody who reads a script is thinking, what's in it for me? Okay? Nobody reads a script for pleasure. Even screenwriters, they only read other people's scripts, which you should do, to say, what can I learn from this? What can I get from this? So you do not ever get a read. You never get a reading of your script the way any artist wants their art to be experienced, which is the audience, okay? That's number one against screenwriting. Number two against screenwriting is it is an incredibly narrow art form in the business, okay? Of the businesses that exist, writing novels, writing plays, writing anything, poetry, song lyrics, graphic novels, the screenwriting business has far less possibilities that pay. The screenwriting art itself, if you're just writing to do like DIY, yeah, no, you can break a lot of rules. But the number of rules that screenwriting has, there's a lot more rules to screenwriting than to writing fiction or writing theater or writing anything, because the business is so competitive and because it is so much a business. Because while you can write a novel and publish it essentially for free at this point, a movie takes tens, hundreds of millions of dollars. Companies do not throw that kind of money around unless they think they're going to make tens or hundreds of million dollars. That's a very narrow slice of the artistic realm. The artistic realm of scripts is huge. The business realm, so unless you're going to write a script, if you want to do DIY, I much more encouraging of this. But no audience reads it. You have very, very little room to work in. And then because you are only writing essentially a set of instructions and inspirations for other people to do their work, there's a lot of things you're not allowed to do. You can't spend a lot of time. You can't spend a lot of space exploring thoughts or ideas or anything. You don't have much room. It's like a creepy haiku. It's awful. Without the elegance of a haiku, just the pressure. Okay, so all in all, screenwriting is a terrible, terrible art form. In theory, if you just wanted to write the art script, in which you spend time describing things and exploring people's thoughts, the problem is you'd probably write like a 300-page script. It would probably read great, probably better than most scripts, but it would not be acceptable or even kind of workable because the pace of a script is so relentless. Scripts are supposed to move. So that is why I think, if at all possible, explore other art forms. If you are going to write scripts, explore DIY or web series or podcasts or radio scripts or anything, but screen work, it's the most narrow. All right. Okay. What's a pitch deck and what goes into it? This I'm going to include with the contracts thing, which is pitch deck is not a writing thing. A pitch deck is a producing thing. It's an agent thing. It's a meeting thing. It's a business implement. A pitch deck, in theory, is a series of images or slides or visuals that would go along with a presentation. That's what a pitch deck is. I haven't done many of them. I don't like them. First of all, they're not for writers. They're for directors. They're for producers. Yes, it has become a writing sales tool, but that's kind of bullshit. It just is. It's more hype and huckster garbage that has nothing to do with writing the script. Don't write a pitch deck. Write a script. If you write a script and it's good, you don't need a pitch deck. All you need to do is say, read page 1. Show them page 1 for your pitch deck. Yes, you can do, I mean, I have done, like you grab images that you think are cool, that give the flavor and the mood, but that's not for the writer. Your images should be in your words. So that's all I have to say about pitch decks. Yuck. Okay, you mentioned dramatic action. I sure did. When it comes to character growth, should there be a new variety of emotions that drive the character to greater relevance in relation to their goal? Or should it always be hinted at, left to the... well, as you might guess, I'm going to say anything you say always, I'm going to say nah, nope. There's no always. You can decide which language you want to use. Do you want to leave it hinted and, that's there is no always. There's no absolute rule to that. I believe every single script has its own requirements. In general, I would just say I don't believe dramatic action and hinting are mutually exclusive. For me, everything is dramatic action. Everything in a script is dramatic action. By the way, that's another reason why scripts are damned hard to write. Almost every other form, you're allowed to do other things besides dramatic action. If you write prose, you can stop the dramatic action and just describe something or pontificate on your feelings about something. Or then put it into a character. It doesn't matter. The point is, scripts only operate pretty much, certainly conventional commercial scripts, as dramatic action. Step, step, step. Everything is a dramatic action. Which, by the way, you need to see my video, Dramatic Action, to know what I mean by that. Because what I mean by that is a character taking an action. An action can be a line of dialogue. But that said, the question of when it comes to character growth, should there be a new variety of emotions that drive the character to greater relevance? Yes, always. There should always be new variety. You should always be building and developing and exploring, not just hitting the same notes over and over again. So that's what I think. Oh, good. I'm glad. I don't remember what I said. What were we talking about? Oh, the screenwriting for, oh yeah, I can go on. I could go on about why screenwriting sucks, which is really weird, because this is a screenwriting teaching thing. But it's what I'm saying is, if you're going to do it, understand what you are. It's like saying, okay, I'm going to join, the priesthood. Okay, I am going to join the Rangers, the Marine, the Delta Force. You are saying, I am going to do this extreme, inhuman thing that is, and I apologize to Delta Force and priest people for. I don't mean you're inhuman. I mean that you are exposing yourself to a rigorous discipline that is far beyond what anyone should do unless they are devoted to this particular calling. And I'm just saying, I think a lot of us fall into screenwriting misunderstanding how narrow and driven one has to be, when what you really want to do is be creative. And you just chose screenwriting because it's what you like to watch. But you're not watching screenwriting. You're watching the whole production process, which is this weird field of dreams. It's this weird business that if you really want to be creative, being creative in the movies is very frustrating because there's a lot of different people being creative all on top of you. And all of them are being uncreated by business. So if you want to be creative, if you want to make stuff up, if you want to create characters and explore them, think about how else you can do that. There's lots of good ways. Okay. I feel like there are more creators on the market than consumers, fewer people reading and more writing. Is it just me? No, this is true. It is true for a couple of reasons. One, there is access, there is technological access to creating and producing in a way that has never happened before. In other words, it used to be until very recently, if you wrote something, the only access that the audience had to you was if you went through very, very narrow gateways of publishing. Then there was such a thing as what's called vanity presses, which you could essentially publish yourself. All of that was very, very strictly bottlenecked and gatekeepered. With the arrival of digital technology, everyone can write, and put it into a form and move it out to the audience easily. Second of all, literally, it's just easier to write now that we have word processing. It was hard to write with a typewriter. I can't even imagine how Dickens and Zola and Dostoevsky and everybody wrote with a pen, with a quill pen, with a steel pen that you dipped in the ink. Can you believe that Bleak House and Crime and Punishment were written with a little thing that you dip into the ink and write on a page, and then you had to have somebody run it over to somebody's office? It's insane. That was hard. So the fact that we can now just pull out our phone and dictate, or just type a little something up, and then if you don't like it, you can cut and paste and move and edit. You had to rewrite it every time. I know that sounds crazy, but that is a huge discourager for most people to write. Now it's just not that hard. So yeah, there's going to be more people doing it. And honestly, I believe that that's good. I honestly think, let alone filmmaking, which is a whole other field that opened up because of digital technology. All of a sudden, it was impossible to create a motion picture with synchronized sound. When I started out in the 1970s, you couldn't do that. I mean, you needed a lot of money to be able to purchase a camera that could do it, and sound recording equipment, to purchase the stock, to go to the lab, and then to cut it, and then to project it. That was all machines that you had to buy, and they were not cheap. So the fact that at this point I can just take my phone and just say, hey, time to make a movie, and just shoot video, edit video, release video to the public, all just through my computer here. That's insane. That's changing everything. And I urge you, but I think I talked about this last time. Let me see if I've got it here. Yeah. Everything is changing. So see what you can do with it. That's the plus side to this. The downside is competition has become worse. There's more people competing, and people have much less tolerance for the flood of stuff coming at them, so that you are getting unlimited opportunity with that same, but at the same time, it's almost impossible for you or, NBC Universal to get the attention of the audience. That's the downside. But if you don't care what size audience you have, if you can build yourself a nice couple thousand people, maybe. I've been doing this for 2 years. I'm coming up on 10,000 people. 10,000 people. If you were running a theater company in anywhere, 10,000 people would be unbelievable. 10,000 people, by the way, is not easy to get. But if you can get 20 or 30 to read your thing, you're beating the odds. If you can get, when I did film festivals, I did 2 films that went to festivals. The first one only went to a couple, and so there were only 2 or 3 screenings of this movie. It had about 20 people in each audience. 20 people watching my movie was unbelievably cool. First of all, a fair number of them liked it, and it was not easy. Um, so I got about 60 people to watch this thing. That felt like it was just about worth it. I was like, yeah, I spent, I raised $65,000 and I spent 2 years of my life on it, and then 60 people watched it, and you know what? Good deal. Excellent. I was all in. That was very, very, very satisfying. So that's all. Let me just next question. It's just me blathering on. Do I have aspirations to write a novel? Yes, actually, that is what I want to do when I stop doing this. One of the reasons I do want to stop doing this at some point fairly soon in the fall is I got a novel I have outlined. I have written 150 rough draft pages, and over the past, I started it in 1996. Okay, that's when I got the idea. That's how long I've been working on this thing. Plus, I have another one rough outlined. I've got a bunch of stuff that I want to write, but I can't do that and this. So I am doing this until I get done with this, until I have said what I need to say, which is there's still, as I have said, I need to finish this project. I have a bunch of other live streams to do, and then I'm going to stop, because I will have said everything you need to hear from me. Okay, this is a very legitimate question. A lot of negatives to screenwriting. Why do you choose to do it? Couple reasons. One, nobody told me this when I started. Okay, if someone had told me, I would have chosen to spend more time doing other more satisfying things as I worked on screenwriting. I devoted myself entirely, or not entirely, but heavily to screenwriting. And also, here's the thing, I wanted to direct, and I loved learning how to, so it wasn't just I wanted to do screenwriting, I wanted to do directing. That removes a lot of these negatives, because I was planning to do indie films where I directed them myself. So it was all part of work, and some of that got much more satisfying because I was going to make the film itself. So that's number one for me. Number two for me is nobody told me this stuff. And I honestly wish someone had. That's why I'm telling you. Number three is, if you think you can beat the game, you're more inclined to do the frustrating thing because you think it's going to pay off. In my case, it did. It kept on paying off enough to keep me hooked. It was a sadistic pusher. Okay, it was a sadistic dealer of kicks, in that, and I am also extremely stubborn, so I would write something and it was a pleasure enough to write it. If somebody liked it, I got an agent, cool, I got an agent, I must be good enough. I had an agent for 12 years before I sold anything, but I had an agent. 5 years into that, I got an option, not much, enough to take 3 months off of my temp job. It was proof. This big movie producer liked my script enough to option it. There were just, and then I did, after the first 18 years of trying, I started to get paid. Getting paid was tricky because the negatives actually got worse. The number of people who change your work, the number of people who push you around as a screenwriter is extraordinary. There is no other art form that I know of where you get pushed around as much and where your work is as freely destroyed as screenwriting. But at least when I was doing it, I do not know that this is still true, the pay made it worth it. It was like, okay, I'll do that, and then on the side I'll do something, like I'll do an indie film that I want to do. So that was true. I did hit points where I was like, well, if I don't get paid in the next 5 years, I'm going to stop writing scripts and write something else because it's not worth it. So that was for me. All right. I made a terrible mistake. I accidentally started to do a screen capture. I hope, yeah. we are not getting anything written here. Okay, HyperAbs says about Goodfellas, the protagonist doesn't seem to have, nor the story establishes, a concrete goal, just becoming a gangster. Movie says, I think becoming a gangster is a concrete goal. I mean, it's very clear. That's actually, it's a great question, and I'm going to show you how, in fact, for my interpretation, and remember, all of this stuff, the goals, the questions, the third act break, the themes, that's just interpretation. Every single person will interpret it differently. Some people will say that Goodfellas is about this, and some people will say Goodfellas is about that. The people who made it didn't agree on what it was on. Everyone who works on a creative project has a slightly different version of what they think they're doing. It's a miracle that this stuff gets done at all, but the answer is, for me, my interpretation of Goodfellas is, what's brilliant about it is the very first, well, not line, but the first value, the first turning point of the movie, the opening, before the opening credits, sequence of these guys driving in a car, they hear thumps, they open the back of it, there's a guy all bloodied, and this is not a spoiler, it's the first scene. There's a guy in the trunk who apparently they thought they had murdered, but he didn't die. So they pull out their guns and they shoot him, and it freezes so that we can learn that this is a voiceover movie, because he says, I think something along the lines of, all my life I wanted to be a gangster. We now know what he wants. This is freaking brilliant because we recognize in that moment that this aspiration of his, which he's going to need to explain for a great deal, why would he want to be this thing that many people think is bad? A. B, clearly it is bad. They're shooting a man in the trunk of a car. Not a good thing to be doing, honestly. It's just not. Some people romanticize it, but it's bad. Okay? So we have this conflict where we're going to say, this guy wanted to do this thing, and now we are seeing clearly that's a bad idea. That creates an incredible tension that runs to the very, very last scene of the movie of how is he going to resolve the fact that he romanticizes and aspires to this thing, which he makes clear has good parts to it and has horrible parts. And that is the story all the way through, is that he's wrestling with, first, how do I get into this thing? And there's a long arc of working his way into it, understanding it, recognizing the greatness of it, the thrill, the power, the exceptionalism, the way that you don't follow the rules, the way, this is what's alluring about it. And then slowly but surely and then there's little drops of blood, little drops of poison in that thing that he is aspiring for, and slowly but slowly those drops begin to become a trickle and then a flood, and it's an amazing story in that sense. There is no antagonist, okay? It is not about an antagonist. There's conflicts with various people, but the antagonist is the thing he wants. His own aspiration has built into it its own antagonist, and that's an amazing structure. You don't have to have an antagonist. You don't have to have that classic story mode. This Goodfellas does exactly that. It shows you how a person's inner conflict can be dramatized as a series of experiences on a journey, and each one of those experiences makes you question the goal. And by the end, he's saying, okay, now I recognize that this was hell in many ways, but it's still got this good stuff in it. It's a portrait of a conflict. It's really quite amazing. Yes, I do too. All right. Yes, small press. Exactly. Small presses were the thing. And how cool you are, Gene. You are endlessly revealing cool things about yourself. There was in the 60s and 70s, and then there was the zines, the self-publishing of graphics. There has always been an effort to get around the technological and financial gatekeeping of the arts. And that's part of being an artist, is figuring out which art has which obstacles, and which ones can you find your way either to get into the game, the machinery of the professional version of it, or to get around it. Either one of those is a completely legitimate, wonderful course of action. It has become disgustingly professionalized for screenwriting. Everyone's like, you just want to sell your thing to the studios. Nah, not necessarily. All right. Boy, do I just have a lot to say here. Hi, Flying Over Trout. Hi, Larry. Yes, exactly. Right. Starting small. Absolutely. Just keep doing it. Now is the time. There has never been a better time to be an indie filmmaker. Never. And if you're going to be a screenwriter, being an indie filmmaker ain't as a bad plan, even if you are not making the mega millions. Okay? That's not the only thing in life. All right. Can I get this line written? Okay. Failed influencer trapped within her many filters. What's bothering me about this is that essentially it's two things. One, it's a description of who she is, and another, it's where she is. So you know what I think I'm going to do for the moment? I may regret this. I may go back on it. Oops. Boom. All right. Answer your damn messages, bitch. There we go. Okay. Hi, Donna. How's life down under? I am writing. That's it. Yay. All right. There's a verb missing here. Boom, boom, right there. Staring at her phone. I would say trapped, except I just said trapped. Moping around. Sprawled and moping in the luxurious Southern California. Luxury. Southern California. You know what? I don't need to say this. Moping, sprawled and moping in Southern California luxury. There we go. Look at that. That is better. I have taken too many words and made it just the right number. That's the magic of rewriting. Look at that. That's actually good. You see? Uh, do you remember what I had before? It was not good. Um, uh, this part wasn't clear, and the sentence was not. This way, I've got what she's doing, and then sprawled and moping in Southern California luxury. Just it's a lovely little con, uh, condemnation of her. All right. Without actually over describing it. I don't know whether she's sprawled by the pool, in the living room. Who knows? All I know is that she's sort of lounging around, and all right. All right, now here's the thing. Starts to work on making airline reservations unless I'm going to actually. What I'm thinking is she could actually start to make. I don't want to add time. So I think. There, Zena's mom. Passing her mom, who is as made over. Okay. All right. This is not bad, actually. This is not bad. Okay. Won't be here. See, fish. First of all, she would be there for dinner. She's taking the red eye. She wouldn't leave till 9 o'clock at night. All right. Beer gotta flying to Pennsylvania. Hard pass. Flying to hard pass. Zena's mom. Zena's mom. Why? Guy now died. Oh my god, nobody. Boom. Oh, Thumper, that's okay. You still got a few minutes. Watch me make this script too long. Makes a decision. It's up and storms through the living room. Won't be here. Won't be here. Fine. I don't like going. Nope. Going to the airport. Won't be here. See, fish spinner. I'm going out. Nope, going out. Nope. I'm going out. Where? Where? What are you doing? Something fun? No. See, I'm having fun with the dialogue, but it's stretching out. See, fish there? Nope, going out. Nope. Which is a good movie, by the way. Nope, I liked it. Going out. Nope, going out. Going out. Nope, going out. Nope. Going out. Something. Going to the airport. Nope. Fish reader? Nope. Now, isn't it winter there? Glad it's nice for you there in the subtropics. All right. Fish for dinner? Nope. Gotta get to the airport. Gotta get to the airport. Meeting someone? Guy that died. Meeting someone? Guy I know died in Pennsylvania. Gotta go to Pennsylvania. Nope. Z, fish for dinner? Nope. Gotta go to the airport. That's not right either. Z, fish for dinner? Nope. Going out. Should I keep some for you? Should we keep? Nope. Going out. See, nope, going out. Going out where? Pennsylvania. Why? Pennsylvania. Oh. Ah. That's not right. Pennsylvania. No, it's too many steps. Too many steps. Late for the airport. No. I understand what you're getting at there, but she's not late for the airport. It's so this is long distance planning. No, going out. I'll be back in a few days. Back in a few days. Back in a few days. What? Where are you going? A few days. Nope. Going out. Back in a few days. A few days. Guy I know died. Yeah, we don't need her to say Pennsylvania. Yeah. Nope, going out. Back in a few days. Few days? Guy I know died. Oh my God, who? But seen his own rings. She's hyped. Nobody, shut up. Yeah. Okay, the good thing about this is she's just rude. It's really good that she's just being rude. Messages, bitch. See. Nope. Back in a few days. Nope, going up. Back in a few days. Few days? Guy no died. Oh my god, who? Okay, that's fun. That's fun. Okay, I think we'll stop here because it's been an hour, and that seems good. Further north. Everything's backwards. Okay. Sultry or sultry, but or something, but not till tomorrow. Well, good luck. Good luck with that British weather. I've heard that you guys have having horrible heat waves. I am terribly sorry to hear that. I hope you stay in the shade and drink as much water as you can. Everybody, that is my farewell advice. Please remember to stay hydrated and go write something. See you tomorrow.